And so she stumbles to the edge, to an oasis at the edge of her village, and basically collapses in front of a couple shepherds tending their sheep. And immediately, these are her family, right? So they recognize who it is, and they quickly run up to her and carry her into the village. Jem wakes up. She's in her room. She recognizes it as her room. Over on the wall, she sees pictures that she has hung of various animals that she likes. Over here, she sees an armoire, which inside has her clothing and other things, and drawers in the bottom. Next to that, she sees the vanity where she gets herself ready in the morning and cleans herself off before going to bed at night. And then on the far side of the room is a trunk full of her bow, arrows, and other hunting equipment. She sits up and looks around and is bewildered. How did she get here? Hi there guys, my name is Kenneth and I'm the Lone Dice Guy. You are joining me for my solo 5th edition adventures, normally as Ming, but today we're playing as Jem Lovec, one of his companions. And so she has just woken up, she's in her home and confused. How'd she get here? So she's looking around the room. Jem notices all these different things that I just described, but on top of that, she notices something else. In the vanity, there's a mirror that she can look at and see herself. And when she sees herself, her jaw drops because she doesn't look like herself. She looks like what she used to look like. So Jem's about 24, 25, mid-20s. And the girl she's seeing in the mirror is no older than 17, maybe 16, 17 years old. And her eyes get big, and she actually starts to hyperventilate a little bit because she's looking around like, is this a dream? She pinches herself. It feels real. And she starts freaking out. But in that moment, she hears a knock on the door. So she, and she hears a familiar voice. Sister. And her eyes get wide. That's the voice of her younger sister, Jenny. Sister. Mom said it's time to get up. Breakfast is ready. She's looking around, instinctively reaching for her rapier or her bow that are no longer on her back or at her side. And so next thing, the door slowly begins to open. And it creaks open. And out pops the head of a little girl. I mean, literally a little girl. No older than maybe 11 or 12. Maybe like 10 or 11, actually. 10 or 11. Sister. And she looks over to see Jem standing in front of the vanity, frozen with fear. What? Did you have a nightmare? I don't know. Well, Mom said breakfast is ready, so come on. I'll be right out. Okay, just hurry. And so she pops her head back out and slowly closes the door. Jem pretty much goes down to her knees, drops it, just freaking out at what is happening. So, here's a question for the fate chart. Is this real or is it an illusion? So, is this real? And I have no clue. 50-50, Chaos Rank 5. 0-8. Is this real? That's an extreme yes. So this is really happening. What we're seeing is really happening. It's not like an illusion. She's really experiencing this. Well, then the question is, if it's real and it's not an illusion, I don't know. Okay, so we'll figure more of it out later. I think Jem's gonna sit there and shake herself awake a little bit, and she's gonna stand up, and she just instinctively knows where her clothes are. And she starts getting dressed. But the whole time she's doing this, she is racking her brain. She cannot remember how she got here, what's going on. She still has all the memories of growing up and leaving the village, but it gets hazy before she leaves the village. She can't remember what happened. Why did she leave the village? Something's not right. So before I actually hit record, I did a couple rolls because I wanted to do them off camera just for dramatic effect, And the spider venom that she got injected, that basically got injected into her, is starting to mess with her mind, starting to mess with her. And so I think this is very real to her, but I think that this is the effect of that venom. And I rolled a couple saves, and she failed at least 2 of the 3 of them. So she's going to be here for a while. So we'll see how this, we'll see what happens with this. This will be fun. So she gets dressed, and she goes outside. And so when she opens the door, her room is kind of like a loft rooftop apartment, if you want to call it that, over on her parents' house. And so she goes out on the roof, stretches. Her body feels real. Everything feels real. She's, nothing feels fake. She's looking out and seeing the village in front of her. And they're in the middle of the desert, so it's nice and warm, even in the morning. But on top of that, she sees everybody running around doing their various tasks. The armorers getting ready to make their armor for the day. The blacksmiths are all heating up their forges. She can see the farmers going off to the rice fields that are behind the village that are using the very little water they have. She can see some of the hunters getting ready to go out on one of their hunting raids, hunting parties. Everybody is going about their job, their daily job. And so she goes to the stairs down the roof, goes and around the building to the front door, and walks into her family home, where she sees her mother, father, and little sister already sitting at the table and already eating. She walks in silently and sits down and begins eating. And her father addresses her. "You have anything to say?" "Good morning, Father." "Good morning. Why are you late? You know that you should be here for breakfast every day, on time." I'm sorry. My head hurts, and I don't understand. Dear, leave her alone. Her mother steps in and hands her a plate of food. "Honey, here, eat quickly. I'm gonna roll a save real quick." Yeah. Yeah, she didn't do very well. 6 + 2 = 8. Jem feels a couple tears welling up, just being with her family again. Why though? Why? Why would she feel that? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm making this up as I go along, if you can't tell. So why would she feel that? Well, let's go to our meaning table. So let's roll. 19, waste, and 3, waste environment. Oh, that's easy. That's super easy. All these memories start flooding back to her of times where her family wanted to get closer to her and she would push them away for whatever reason. Maybe we'll learn that a little bit. She just wasted the time she had in this environment. And all of those memories are coming back to her now because she still understands that she's not 16. She's not 17. She knows she's not this age. In her mind, she's still the same 25-year-old. And so she just, all the memories are coming back. But again, from right before she left, it's fuzzy. She doesn't know what happened. She can't remember why she left. And so it's adding to the emotion of it. And so she's eating breakfast and enjoying the moment, but not saying very much because her emotions really are right under the surface. And she's normally not like this. She can hear her mother and father talking with Jenny about school and about the different, assignments they're doing. And a couple questions are sometimes thrown to Jem about her own assignments and just things like that. And she answers half-heartedly because she doesn't remember. But at the end of breakfast, they all get up and Jem goes to help her mother with dishes. But her mother scolds her and says, "What are you doing? You need to be out of here. You have lessons, do you not? You need to get to them now." And she, for a moment, thinks like, "Oh crap," like she's frozen again. And her mother looks at her. "You do not look well. Are you feeling well? Are you feeling unwell?" "No, mother. I'm I'm feeling fine. I'm just still trying to wake up. Of course. And she, puts her hand to her forehead. Oh, you feel fine. Hurry along. Go. Shoo. Get to work. And so she goes back upstairs, grabs her hunting equipment, her bow, and her rapier, but it isn't the same one she had. Like she recognizes that these are lesser quality. These are training, bow and a training rapier. And so she puts them on and her quiver and heads out. Whenever she gets downstairs, as she's walking around the village, a sense of awe is met with her. She knows where to go instinctively, and it's like her feet are taking her there automatically. She doesn't have to think about it. But as she's looking around, it feels the warmth of home is filling her, and she can't understand what is this. But her mind is also fuzzy and unsure. Everything seems to be it's like she's in a dream, but it's still very real. And so finally she arrives at the hunters' training grounds where all of the hunters in her family or in her clan go there to learn how to hunt creatures, whether it be animals or other things. Now, we established last time that kind of her family is a family of hunters, her clan is a clan of hunters. They praise the natural world. They love natural things. They don't like artificial things. They love how nature handles things. They are advisors to nearby nations of how to deal with the undead and various monsters. And they like to teach, they make sure that their teachings go on to the next generation. They're very careful and intentional about that. So, of course, they're going to have a school set up just to do this in their village. Of course. And so Jem walks into the school, kind of the courtyard, where the building's not super special. It's stucco. Think of like desert Arizona, Southwest if you're in the United States, or maybe even maybe it's something you'd see in the Middle East, right? So very stucco mud hut, but still well built in stoneware. There's a lot of stonework all over the village. And so she walks into the courtyard, and inside she sees other students, and she recognizes a couple of them as her friends. And so they make small talk, and Jem just mainly listens. She does remember that this was kind of her role. She just mainly listened in the first place. And so as they're standing around talking, eventually the instructor comes up, and they all get into their formation. Jem, again, doesn't have to think. She just knows where to go, almost like she's not really in control right now. Fate chart, is Jem in control? Can she make her own decisions? I don't know. I'm gonna, I don't know, 50-50. I have no idea. What? 52, that's a no. So, I think this is the moment. She's listening to the instructor, but still trying to think about what's going on. And it hits her like a ton of bricks. Boom! She hasn't made a single choice this entire time. It's like she's acting the actions out. She can feel her muscles move. But this is all predetermined. Like she's watching it happen. But she's doing it. So, okay, the pieces are coming together now. I think this is kind of like a dream, like a very, very hyper real dream. Not quite an illusion. Like it's still very real. She still feels things. Oh, this is cool. Okay. Yeah, so she's starting to put the pieces together too. This is some kind of weird dream that she's encountering. Maybe effect of the spider venom that's got. Now she's putting two and two together, so she calms down a little bit. But still, it feels weird how real everything feels. Interesting. All right. So, again, the instructor goes through and explains, and it's stuff she remembers, basic hunter stuff 101. And finally, they send them off to do their various morning exercises and things like that. The whole morning, Jem is sitting there thinking, I don't understand. What's going on? Why am I here? And she's trying to rack her brain, but still, obviously, she notices that she doesn't have to really think about the actions. They just happen on their own. So it kind of gives her some bandwidth to really think about what's going on. So let's find out what's going on. Or actually, I have a better idea. In this moment, I think I'm going to have her do an intelligence check. Or actually, Yeah, I'm going to do an intelligence check. DC is going to be 10 plus 5 chaos rank. I think this is a very unique situation, so we're going to add 1, so 16. She rolled a 2. A 2 plus her intelligence, which is 2. Yeah. Oh, no, sorry, 1, my bad. 3. So she just does not remember what is going on here. She doesn't remember where she knows where she is, but she doesn't remember what happened next. And her mind is so fuzzy and addled, and she's just trying to think. But again, the actions just keep happening. Eventually, it's the end of the day, and she's back home and with her family, and they're talking, and her father's talking about the hunt they went on, and it's a warm memory. And so at that night, when she's laying in bed, she still feels fatigued. It hits her. She knows when this is. Her birthday is tomorrow. And on her birthday, when she turns 17, we'll say she's 16, when she turns 17, she remembers going on her first hunt with her father. She remembers now. But it didn't go well. Did it? Fate chart. Did her first hunt go well? I'm imagining unlikely, because it's a story. Conflict has to happen. So, unlikely. Oh. Okay. So, no, it did not go well. 64, that's a no. The next thing you know, it's the next morning. She wakes up. She didn't feel like she slept, but she's not fatigued anymore. And so she gets out of bed and starts getting dressed, putting her hunting gear together. And she goes down to breakfast with her family like normal, but this time she's on time. And the breakfast is quiet. Her mother is busily serving food and making sure everybody's taken care of. Jenny is eating quietly, but occasionally looks up at Jem and then quickly goes back to her, back to her food. And her father is just eating his food and occasionally looks at a book on the. Maybe looks at a piece of a piece of paper, a map of some sort, next to his breakfast. And finally, her mother comes up to her and says, "Jem," and she looks up, and her mother presents to her a small little kind of like breakfast pastry with icing and something on top, and puts it in front of her and says, "Happy birthday, Jem." And of course, the other, they all, I couldn't hold it in anymore. Jenny's excited, happy birthday. They basically were trying to surprise her, but they were waiting for her mother to be ready. And so everyone's laughing and talking. It's a good memory. Again, it's a very good memory. But in Jem's mind, she's racking it's so much into the uncanny valley. She can't really enjoy this moment that maybe she would have killed to experience again. But here in this moment, she can feel herself laughing and talking. She doesn't even have to think about the words. They just come naturally. And she's celebrating her birthday again, her 17th birthday with her family. And she remembers. Ever so slowly, it dawns on her. This is the last birthday she had with her family. And so while inside, sadness begins to creep up. Outwardly, she's jovial and excited. This is such a strange experience for her. The next thing she knows, she's walking through the streets with her father, going to a hunting briefing, her first, and she meets several of the other hunting students who also have turned 17 in the last month. And here it's kind of it's like the trainee hunt that they have once a month. And there's a couple of friends, they're all excited, whatever. But again, the inside, the turmoil is just rising and rising and rising and rising. What's going to happen? Who knows? All right. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to stop there and take a moment. Up to this point, Jem has realized she's basically on rails. This is an extended cutscene. And so as she walks off, right, she walks off into the distance, she feels like her presence almost separate from her body. She can see herself walking off, but then she looks down. She can't see herself at all. She's just a disembodied vision. And her vision slowly drifts to that of her family home. And this is where she feels herself gain more control. She can walk around. She feels like she can feel her arms move, but she can't see them. And so she feels more in control. And she sees her little sister, Jenny, cleaning up after breakfast. And her mother says, okay, go to school. And then she starts following her. Something in her, in this state prompted her to follow Jenny. And so she did. And she expects Jenny to go to the school, but she turns on another street, going towards the edge of the village. And so Jenny turns and goes, and eventually comes to the end of an alleyway, or like a back kind of a back street. Looks around and walks out of the village entirely, off into the desert. And Jenny feels herself saying out loud, what are you doing? But of course, no sound comes out. So she follows her. Oh, fate chart. Does Jenny sense Jem there at all? I don't know, 50-50. 0-4, absolute yes. What? Okay. Interesting. So at one point, as Jenny is now maybe like 30 minutes out of walking outside the village, she stops, kind of does this motion, and turns around and looks directly. Jem feels Jenny's eyes lock with hers. Her eyes get big, and she get kind of like looks around again, and then continues on her way. Jenny knows that Jem's like spirit or whatever is there. I don't know. Interesting. Okay, this is getting really strange and weird, and I kind of like it, but still. Moving on. Eventually, Jenny comes to what looks to be some kind of ruins. These ruins in the maybe like an hour and a half or so away from the village, and the ruins look relatively old, at least several hundred years old. And then Jenny goes into the main archway of what looks to be the main building. Jem is following, and the minute Jenny gets to the bottom of these stairs, she just kind of snaps her fingers, and a black cloak and hood flows over her, and Jem stops. This is the Jenny she recognizes, right? The black cloak, the hood, everything. This is the Jenny she recognizes. And so she rushes down to follow her, and she sees herself in this massive open cathedral almost. High vaulted ceilings, several different enclaves along the wall, each with different, what look to be kind of runic symbols carved into the altars on them. This is kind of weird. In this room, she sees Jenny walk up to a throne. There's no one else in the room but Jenny and Jem, but still. Walk up to the throne and bow down. And go into a kneel. I have a question for the fate chart that I'm not going to tell you. It's 65, which is a no. Oh goodness. Okay. So Jenny kneels down in front of this altar that's in front of this throne altar. It's empty. And she says, everything is almost ready. How much longer before I have to do it? And there's no one there, at least to Jem's eyes, but she hears a voice. Soon. Your work is almost complete. You have done very, very well. Thank you. But does it have to happen like this? Yes. Now, when everything is ready,
Make sure everyone is in the village. Not a soul escapes.
And Jenny makes a loud gulping noise. Everyone?
Everyone. Or it will not work.
Okay. Fine. And then you'll teach me?
I'll teach you everything you ever want to know.
Okay. And so Jem can instantly tell her little sister's crying. I'll do it. But just remember your promise to me.
Of course. Now, be gone with you.
So Jenny stands up and walks back. And again, when she turns and starts walking towards where Jem is floating, standing, existing, their eyes lock for a split second. Her eye gets really big. She looks down and then keeps going like nothing ever happened. What was that? I just rolled. What I rolled earlier when I asked the question, the answer was no. I asked, basically, is Jenny working alone? Or is she with someone? Is she working alone? The answer was no, she's not working alone. So whoever this is a relationship or something that Jenny's had for a while. Maybe not relationship is the right word, but she's had this connection for a while. Again, Jem can't see anyone. There's as far as she can see, there's no one here except for Jenny, but she clearly heard the voice. So that's very strange. I'm actually going to roll our meaning here in a little bit, kind of figure out what's going on here. But here's my guess so far. I think Jenny's in over her head. I think she made a deal with, it sounds like the devil, and is gonna have to pay a price she didn't think she would have to pay. I don't know. Who knows? But let's actually figure it out. What is the nature of Jenny's life right now? What's the situation Jenny's in? So let's roll. 75 is refuse. Refuse what? What is being refused? 06, reality. Refuse reality. I reject your reality and substitute my own. Okay. Refuse reality. Let's do 2 more. 80. It's trust. Okay. And then 1 more. 38. A path. Oh, these are similar words to what we rolled the first time we rolled for Jenny. Ooh. Refuse reality and trust a path. When you look at Jem is not muscular at all, but she has a hunter's physique. In fact, everyone in the village, there's not a fat person in the village. They all have hunter's physiques. They're all hunters or workers. These are people who have physical prowess. And, of course, magical competency as well, because they hunt magical animals and beasts. So, of course, they have to have those competencies. Jenny's different. She's much more frail than her sisters or any of the other kids in the village. She can't keep up with them in any of the physical activities they do. Either she gets too tired or maybe even sickly. Is she sickly? Fate chart. She's sickly. I think it's somewhat likely. 58, somewhat likely. That's a yes. She's sickly. Interesting. So she has some kind of disease or condition that stops her from doing all the stuff that the other kids in the village do, including her sister, Jem. And so, and maybe that's why, she can go missing from school and nobody really cares. Maybe there's this almost implicit understanding of, she's just doing whatever she wants to do, right? She's definitely the black sheep of the village for sure. Okay, so I'm on board so far. So refuse reality, reject the path. So she refuse reality. I'm saying that she's she refuses to accept that she can't do something for her family. Maybe she wants to contribute in her own way. Maybe she's not physically capable, but is she magically capable? We know from her fight in the burial mound that she's a necromancer, so clearly she has some magical aptitude. So fate chart, I think it's very likely she is highly magically attuned. So does she have that trait? Highly likely. Okay, that is 94. That's a yes. 94, it's a yes. So she is magic. She is a magic, super, she has a high aptitude for magic. And so maybe higher in the whole, maybe highest in the whole village. I'm just gonna say that. Yeah, she's not the most, she's not the physically strongest. She didn't even register in that area, but she has very high levels of magical aptitude, and so she's very different from the other kids and the other people in her village, especially her family. Interesting. Okay, so anyway, trust a path now. I think this kind of refers to what she's doing here. She has found a way to contribute to the family business, I guess, and maybe in her mind, but it's a different path from her family and her friends. So she's trusting that she's found the right one. Trust a path. She's found the right one. Okay. I'm going to roll 2 more times just to get more information, but I think I have an idea where this is going. 34, lie. Oh, that's cool. Okay. 77. Now it's doubles, but it's not really, like, we're not asking a question, so it's different. We're not going to count it this time. 77 is trials. Lie and trials. That's interesting. 53, adversity. 02, dreams. Lie, trials, adversity, dreams. So refuse reality, trust the path, lie, trials, adversity, and dreams. Very similar to what we discovered from about her last time. But I think, oh, this is coming together. Oh, that's cool. This is why the wheels are turning, if you can't tell. She has lied to her family about a lot of stuff. Maybe, she's been taught spells by this voice, whatever it is, to enhance her physical body, but that's not allowed. Like, she's found a way to do it without being caught. She's basically been cheating on our tests, been cheating on her everything that they do in school. She's been cheating her whole way through. Lie and trials, yeah. She has not she's not done anything the right way. So everyone thinks she's just like them, normal like them, when she's clearly not. Maybe they're a little confused that how someone so scrawny could compete at a physical level like them. But, whatever. She's doing it. They don't see any magic trailing off her. So, yeah, because she's learned how to hide it. Ooh, because she is a sorcerer. That's right. We did talk about how she was a sorcerer before, so she clearly knows subtle spell. Okay. Oh, okay. And then adversity and dreams. Oh, this makes perfect sense. She is she has a goal. She's a dream to help her family out, to be able to be competent in that area, but she knows that she can't do it. She can't just let everybody know she's learning magic from some disembodied voice here. Come on. This is an adversity. She's having to go through adversity, learning whatever spells this thing is teaching her, in the hopes that she can maybe one day reach her dream, and it'll all be worth it in the end. Kind of an ends justify the means kind of thing. She's more concerned about making sure she can help her family. Okay. That's okay. Oh, that makes total sense. Okay. So Ginny is learning magic from some disembodied voice in some ancient ruins outside of her village in order to help out her family. She wants to contribute to the hunting of her family, and she's doing it in secret because she's afraid that people won't like what she's doing. I think at 10 or 11 years old, we'll say 11, I don't think she has the thought to realize that she's learning necromancy. Clearly, we know from her fight, she's learning necromancy right now. And so she doesn't have the connection. She just thinks, I'm being taught magic to help out my family. Oh, I have an idea of who this is, but I don't know. We're going to hold off on that. Okay, so as Jem, spirit, memory, whatever, is sitting there, everything dawns on her. Something bad happened this day. She doesn't know what, but something bad happened this day. And she can't figure out what it is. She can't rack her brain, and it's starting to really scare her. with that said, this session's gone on long enough. We've learned a ton about Jenny and her past and what she's doing. And it's called coming together now. And I love it. I absolutely love this. This is making so much sense. Everything that's happened up to this point is making so much sense. This is really cool. That's why I love these games. Let me just rant for a second. This is why I love this as a hobby. This is so much fun. I didn't think any of this beforehand. I'm literally making it up as I go. The dice roll helped me figure things out. The meaning table helps me figure things out. This is pure, unfiltered imagination, and I love it. I'm addicted to this now. Like, I don't care if you like it or watch it. I mean, okay, I take that back. I do want you to like it. I don't want it to be boring, but I'm really loving this. This is fun. This is a lot of fun. And I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm going to do with this story now. Like, everything's making perfect sense. And I'm super excited what happens next. I like 10 different threads just connected in my brain for this story. With one question, and that is, who is the voice she's talking to? I don't know. I think we'll find that out next time. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, all the dumb YouTube stuff. Be sure to share it with your friends saying, hey, look at this weirdo play D&D online. It should be a lot of fun. Whatever. I don't care because I'm having fun, and that's really all that matters. So thank you so much for watching again. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. I'm Kenneth, the Lone Dice Guy. God bless.